ओ बस एक राम बोलो, राम बोलो, राम राम बोलो रे। ओ मिलकर राम बोलो, राम बोलो, राम राम बोलो रे। Shri Ram, chant his name, ask him to forgive you. The Lord is most compassionate, Jayant. Why don't you go? भूल मिले जो तेरे चरणों में, मैं दस्तक में जाऊं रे। तेरी शरण जीवन में पाओ रे। सुख जीवन में पाओ रे। ओ बस एक राम बोलो, राम बोलो, राम राम बोलो रे। प्रणम्य शिरसा देवं गौरीपुत्रं विनायकं भक्तावासं स्मरे नित्यम् आयुकामार्थ सिद्धये। प्रथमं वक्रतुण्डं च एकदन्तं द्वितीयकं तृतीयं कृष्णपिङ्गाक्षं गजवक्त्रं चतुर्थकं लम्बोदरं पञ्चमं च षष्ठं विकटमेव च सप्तमं विघ्नराजं च धूम्रवर्णं तथाष्टकम् नवमं बालचन्द्रं च दशमं तु विनायकम् एकादशं गणपतिं द्वादशं तु गजाननम् द्वादशैतानि नामानि त्रिसन्ध्यं यपते नरः न च विघ्नभयं तस्य सर्वसिद्धिकरं प्रभो। आप लोग खड़ा हो जाइए प्लीज स्टैंड। वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु दुर्गारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। ॐ वीणाधरे विपुलमङ्गलदानशीली भक्तार्तिनाशिनी विरंचि हरीश वन्दे कीर्तिप्रदे अखिलमनोरथ दे महाहे विद्याप्रदायिनी सरस्वती नौमि नित्यम्। लक्ष्मी करोतु कल्याणम् आरोग्यं सुखसम्पदा मम शत्रु विनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते। ॐ श्री अनुभवानंदाय नमः। ओम श्री चिन्मयानंदाय नमः। ओम श्री गुरुदत्ताय नमः। ओम श्री सत्यसाईश्वराय नमः। ओम तपोवनाय नमः। ओम श्री शंकराय नमः। ओम सीतारामचंद्राभ्यां नमः। कर्पूर गौरम करुणावतारम संसार सारम भुजगेन्द्रहारम सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। ॐ श्री सीतारामचन्द्राय नमः। आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कले तल नितसियपी की। आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कले तल नितसियपी की। ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद वाल्मीकि ज्ञान विशारद सुख सनकादि शेष और शारद वर्णि पवन सुत कीरतनी की। आरती श्री रामायण की तीरति कले तल नितस्य पीकी चाहु शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस मुनि जन धन संतन को सरबस सारयंश सम्मत सब ही की आरती श्री रामायण जी की तीरति कले तल नितस्य पीकी शंभु भवानी और गत संभव मुनि वेगानी व्यास आदि कवि वर्ज भकानी काकभूषुंडी गरुड़ के ही आरती श्री रामायण जी की तीरति कले तल नितस्य पीकी शयर सपीकी शुभग सिंगार मोतीयोबतीकी दलन रोग भव मोरी अमीकी तात मात सब विधि तुलसी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की तीरति कले तल नितस्य पीकी सिंहासन दशरथ लाला मन मंजो मुकुर मलहरणी किए तिलक गुण गण बस करणी आरती श्री रामायण जी की तीरति कले तल नितस्य पीकी Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. अंतरिक्षगम शांति पृथ्वी शांति आपः शांति औषधीय शांति वनस्पति शांति विश्वदेव शांति ब्रह्म शांति सर्वगम शांति शांतिरेवा शांति सामा शांतिरिधि ओम शांति शांति शांति। प्रेम से बोलिए उमापति महादेव की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। नौ दुर्गा माता की जय। आप लोग आसन लीजिए, प्लीज बी सीटेड। प्रेम से बोले सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Once again, my friends, it is with great humility and love on behalf of Shri and Srimati Baldev, Ramrup and family, we'd like to take this opportunity to say a very warm and very special welcome to each and every one of you who have come to join us on this, the second night of our 5 nights Ramayan Yagna. As we journey through the golden pages of the Ramcharitamanas of Goswami Tulsidashi, there is so much of knowledge and so much of love and so much of blessing that we receive through the grace and blessing of Sant Tulsidashi and Maryada Purushottam Shri Ramchandraji himself. So once again, on behalf of Shri Balrupji, his wonderful Dharmapatni, their beloved son, very humble and very wonderful son, lovingly called as Boyu, together with his beloved Dharmapatni, his beloved wife, they, my friends, are simply honoring his mother and father. As you all, some may know rather, not everybody may know, but the mother went through a lot and she is not very well. And this desire for this yagya was in her mind since 2020. During the COVID and the peak of the COVID time, as a matter of fact, we had a date actually, and we had to postpone because of the COVID. And this son, Boyo, together with his wife, made sure that this yagya happens. And so to you, Boyo, God bless you. And it is very rare to have sons like you, especially in the times that we are living in, and daughters-in-law like your beautiful Dharmapatni. May God bless you together with your sisters and of course all the siblings. Tonight, my friends, we want to touch the feet of our senior pundits who are with us. My beloved Kaka, Shri Pundit Narayan Prasad Sharma ji, who is of course absolutely no stranger to any of you. He is the 5th son of the late Dharmacharya of Trinidad and Tobago, Shri Pandit Sahadev Prasad Dubey. And he is the last out of 5 brothers, surviving all of his brothers. And so tonight we are indeed very, very blessed to have him with us, my beloved Kaka Shri. And I touch your feet forever. And I seek your blessing now and for all times. Tonight also we are indeed very happy to have with us the brother of another Dharmacharya. And that was, he is the brother of Shri Pandit Uttam Ji Maharaj. And together with his Dharmapatni tonight, Pandit Bisham, We touch your feet tonight, Baba, and we thank you so very much for gracing us with your presence, with your wonderful Dharma Patni. To you, Mama, we bow and we seek your blessing. To Pandit Vishal for conducting puja, and of course our beloved Rishi, thank you so very much for creating that wonderful energy and wonderful vibration through worship. To the members of the Chinmaya Gyan Kirtan Mandali, special thanks and blessings once again. Tonight, we are indeed very happy to have with us Sankhya Television, our beloved Didi, Shri, and of course, her beloved Dharmapati, Shri Rameshji, and of course, all the viewers on Sankhya Television, the #1 Hindu television station in Trinidad and Tobago. And we say one special thanks and blessings to all the sponsors on Sankhya TV, which can be viewed on so many different channels in different parts of the world. We say thank you and God's blessings. Friends, this is where now it takes us into invocation. As we invite everyone to sit back and relax, as we turn our minds away from the busy day, we settle in on the path of bhakti and devotion, and we seek the grace of Maryada Purushottam Bhagwan Shri Ram. Last night, as the Katha continues, Prabhu, may the blessing of yours manifest in our lives in only one form tonight, and that's knowledge. The only reason why we are here, invited by this family, is to gain some form of knowledge, maybe just one thing tonight, as we would have gained something last night. Knowledge is the only thing that can save our soul from the bondage of sansara and the bondage of karma. May your blessing be upon Shri Baldevji, his wonderful Dharma Patni, and their beloved children for hosting this yagya. May the power of your name resonate in their hearts and homes and lives, as with all your devotees tonight via the various frequencies and social media network. Prabhu, we thank you for the gift of life, O Shri Ram. We thank you that we were blessed to see another day. We thank you for being with us even when we feel alone. You're always there with your greatest bhakta devotee Hanuman Swami, Sita Devi and Lakshman. Tonight as we touch your feet, may you always be in our hearts, Lord. And can we ask you one favor? Can we ask you one blessing, Lord? Please bless us, that we would always place you first, and we will never forget you. Because everything that happens in our lives, it happens by your will. Varnanam artha sanganam rasanam chandasam api mangalanam chakartaro vande vani vinayako vande vani vinayako nana purana nigama gamatam yatam yata Ramayane nigadidam kvachatanyatopi swanta sukaya tulsi raghunatha gata bhashanubandimati manjulamapanoti jehi sumirat siddhi ho gananayak kar चरै गिरिवर गहना जासु कृपा सुदया प्रभु सकल विमल गहना नील सरोह करुण अरुण पारे जनयना करऊ सो मम सदा चीर सागर सयना कुंदयेन्दु समदेह कुमार मन करुणायना जाहि दीन परने करो कृपा मर्दन मायना वंदव गुरुपद कंज कृपा सिंधु नर रूप हरि महामोह तम कुंज जासु वचन रवि करनि कर श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी तुलसी कृत्यर आयना कथा कहु अनुसार सिया पति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम उमापति महादेव की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय पूरे सा जगन्नाथ की जय सियावर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम नाथ मम संकट हरो हरि Just to recap in 2 minutes, what Jayant did last night was he wanted to test the ability and the strength of God. He wanted to test the ability of Maryada Purushottam Bhagwan Shri Ram. He wanted to intervene, he wanted to interfere in what was happening at that point in time. And we all know, my friends, as Sri Ram was taking the flowers and decorating the hair of Sita Devi and making the abhushan, the jewelry for her hands, etc. Jayant decided that he is going to take the form of a crow because he had the ability to change himself into any form. And having taken the form of this crow, he went and picked the feet of Sita Devi. And having done that, Jayant, when he saw the blood, he flew away. A point that we want to reiterate from last night is that sometimes we have people interfering in our lives, sometimes in a physical way. And until they see blood, they will not stop. Sometimes people interfere in our lives in an emotional way. And what they do they hurt our feelings and they upset us emotionally. We have to be very cautious and very careful of our reaction, not only our physical reaction, but our emotional reaction. You see, my dear brothers and sisters, nobody is in control, or maybe nobody is in control of your life but you yourself. Nobody is in control of your mind and your emotions but you yourself. People may pull certain strings and certain wires and certain electrical switches to hamper with our emotions. But if we are not careful and cautious, and if we are not alert, then we become the victim of our own emotions. You know, don't ever say again in the future that somebody made you upset. Somebody made you angry. Nobody can make you angry. Don't ever say that again. And don't ever become angry. Don't ever become angry or upset because of what somebody say or do, because that person is not in control of you. You are in control of you. I'm not saying that you would not get upset. I'm not saying that you would not react to situations sometimes and become angry. I'm not saying that you would not burst into your expression of your emotions. You're only human. We are all only human. But we are not just human, we are divine human. And we cannot forget our divine side. We should never forget our divine side and our divine nature. And so, my friends, Jayant, having done that, he, what you call, saw the blood, and then immediately he took his original form as the son of God Indra, a human being again. And Jayant ran away. Why? Because Sri Ram took up what you call a straw. Preta rata mantra brahma sara dhava chala bhaji basa bhaya pava. Here, Sri Ramchandra ji, my friends, took up what you call a straw from the ground. He placed it on his Dhanush Ban. He invoked the presence of God Agni, the fire god. And the straw became now a ball of fire. And when that became that ball of fire, he shot the bow, and the ball of fire now is going after Jayant. Now, I don't think in those days he had a fire extinguisher. The fire extinguisher was of a different kind. I don't think the water of the rivers and the ocean could have outed that fire that was behind Jayant. That fire tonight, I want you to focus on that, and I want you to remember that fire that is going behind Jayant. If Jayant goes up, the fire is going up. If Jayant goes down, the fire is going down. If he turns right or turns left, the fire is going in every direction. The fire is behind him. And friends, when we are in trouble or when we are in difficulties and we are on this earth, who do you go to? Last night somebody said, mother. Some people say they go to God. Jayant went to his father. He went to God Indra. And Tulsidashi tells us that when he went to his father, the father looked at his son and he said, my child, you have come to me for help. Why didn't you think before of what you were going to do and make a decision? There are times when even I, your father, cannot help you. And in this case, it has come to that situation where I cannot help you. Jayant, the father, friends, could not do anything to help Jayant. Why? We will see in a little bit. The father looked at the ball of fire behind his son, but there is nothing the father could have done. Sometimes, our fathers would have done. For those of you who have your fathers with you, I know that your father will do whatever it takes to protect you as children, and the youngsters and youths especially. Your father will do anything to protect you, regardless to whatever age he might be. If his children his child or children is hurt, he will protect. But then if there is nothing that he can do, I'm sure even then he will pray, asking God to protect you. Such is the love of a father, and such is the love of a mother. Jayant, he went to Brahmaji, and having gone to Brahmaji, he says, "My Lord, you are the creator of the world. And look, this great fire is behind me. I don't know what to do, oh Brahmaji. If you are the creator and you are the God of creation, can you create something to out that fire?" Brahmaji, he looked at him and he said, "वो ब्रह्मलोक, शिवलोक आदि सभी लोको तथा पदा भय और शोक व्याकुल क्षे भागता फिरा." He goes to Brahmaji, and he not only goes to Brahmaji, but he goes to Bhagwan Shiva. Shivalok, Brahmalok, for help. Now friends, when you go to these lokas and you go to any one of these forms of the Lord and you request help, God will help us. But I want to iterate a very important point that I want nobody to forget tonight. I will speak to it in a few moments. When he went to Brahmaji, he turned him away. He went to to Lord Shiva, and he turned him away. Jayant put his hands together and he looked at Lord Shiva and he says, "Prabhu, aren't you Sukha ka sagar hai? Aren't you the ocean of happiness? You are the ocean of bliss. You are the Lord of my heart." Jayant is saying, "Prabhu ji, Prabhu ji, Prabhu ji, Sukh ka sagar hai. Shiva ji, Shiva ji, Shiva ji, Sukh ka sagar hai." शिवजी, शिवजी, सुख का सागर है। सुख करता, दुख हरता, पावन परमात्मा है। शिवजी, 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 सुख का सागर है। परमात्मा है। सुख करता, दुख हरता, पावन परमात्मा है। Difficulties of life will to come our way, it is you that we turn to, O Lord. It is you that will save us when the storm of life situations is before us. When the boat of our life is about to sink, who shall we turn to? Prabhu, please extend your helping hand, your hands of forgiveness, your hand of love, your hand of protection to us, your children. Jayant, he goes to Brahmaji and Bhagwan Shiva. And Jayant, my friends, is now feeling, because the ball of fire will not turn out, the arrow that Sri Ram sent will not stop. Jayant is in a very fiery situation. जीवन एक उलझन है, बातों में न बस जाना, एक राह में राम मिले, उस राह में बस जाना, एक बार जो शरण में आता, एक बार जो शरण में आता, वो पूर्ण आत्मा है, सुख करता दुख हरता, पावन परमात्मा है। प्रभु जी, प्रभु जी, प्रभु जी सुख का सागर है। किया है अब ना करना, प्रभु सबको अर्पण करना, माँ जी के संग में रहना, सच की माला को जपना, वो काली झोली भरता, ऐसा परमात्मा है, सुख करता दुख हरता, पावन परमात्मा है। Jayant was not even helped by Lord Shiva. They all turned him away. My friends, we concluded last night asking a question. And the question was, why do you all think Lord Brahmaji turned him away and could not help? His father turned him away and could not help. Lord Shiva turned him away and could not help. Why? Why do you think? Can anybody tell? Now it is, remember, it is said God is all compassionate and God is all loving and God is all forgiving and God is all kind. And what? I mean, if a person who is a non-Hindu read this katha and they see Lord Shiva turn him away and Brahmaji turn him away, they will say, what kind of God is that? Isn't it? Now, please be attentive. We all know that Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu and Bhagwan Shiva, they are one and the same. They have three different functions and three different energies. Brahmaji carries the energy of what you call creation. Lord Vishnu carries the energy of preserving or preservation. And Bhagwan Shiva carries the energy of reabsorption. So they are one and the same, right? We all, my friends, when we think of Sanatan Dharma, we think of the Holy Trinity as Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Bhagwan Shiva. So, if this is our Holy Trinity, how can we hurt one and pray to the other one? Can you hurt your left hand? Can you hurt your left hand and pat the right hand and say, okay, you are my hand, you are my right hand, you are my, what you call, the hand that does everything. You are my predominant hand. I must treat you good. But the left hand, treated bad. Who will feel the pain? Who will feel the pain? You will feel the pain because your right hand and your left hand and your right ear and your left ear and your right leg and your left leg is part of your one body. So we can't hurt one and pray to the other one. We can't protect one hand and hurt the other hand. We can't protect one leg and hurt the other leg. And this is universal for all various forms of God. The point I make is we must never entertain doubts, hatred, or anger for any form of God. Regardless to religion, whatever religion a person belongs to, we must not entertain doubts and we must entertain what you call negativity towards any form of God people pray to. Friends, this in Jayant, he, having hurt Bhagwan Sri Ram by picking the feet of Sita Devi, is an indication that he did not recognize Sri Ram to be Bhagwan Vishnu, incarnated upon the face of this earth as Manushya Avatar, the son of Maharaj Dashrath in human form. He did not recognize the Lord. And as a matter of fact, he went there with arrogance. Hey, I am the son of God Indra. My father is the king of heaven. And I am here in this forest. And I will test your strength and ability. I will see how powerful you are. Man, Jai Bhagwan, Sri Ram took up a dry straw and invoked Agni Devata in this. And he showed him who is more powerful. Brothers and sisters, we must never question the power of God. And never doubt the power of Bhagwan. What we must have is the faith in the Lord. What we must have is the Shraddha in Bhagwan. And if we have that Shraddha, then we will never question the power of God in any religion. But in this case, as Madhyala Purushottam Bhagwan Sri Ram. And the reason why I'm saying in any religion, because I want to be universal and I do not want to narrow down, according to our scriptures alone. Because I am a Hindu, I speak about my Hindu God alone and say, okay, well, my Sri Ram is the greatest. No, I want to say that that universal form of God in any religion must be respected, honored, and worshipped. Respected, honored, and worshipped. And when you see our mind is cleared and our mind is free and our mind is pure to believe that and understand that, then, my friends, we are at a high level on the spiritual ladder of self-evolution, spiritual evolution. Jayant could not get help from God Brahma and Lord Shiva because he hurt Bhagwan Sri Ram. Now, what's the scenario here? What he must do for that ball of fire to drop? What he must do for that ball of fire to drop? When Jayant didn't get any help, there is always someone, there is always someone the Lord himself will send into our lives to help us or to advise us. And you know who came in the life of Jayant at that time? Narayana, Narayana. Jayant running to all the different lokas. Naraji, the celestial saint, felt very sorry for him. And he said, Jayant, I want to tell you something. Rama, Shri Ram Jaya Rama, Jaya Narad Deka Vikal Jayanta, Lagi Daya Komal Chit Santa, Shri Ram Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Ram Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. पतवा तुरत राम पहिता है, पतवा तुरत राम पहिता है, ऐसी पुकारी प्रणत हित पाहे, बोलो श्री राम जय रामा, जय जय रामा, श्री राम जय रामा, जय जय रामा. Shri Ram Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Ram Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Ram. जब नारद जी ने जयंत को बेचैना देख तब उन्होंने पर दया और गई, क्योंकि संतों की चित कोमल होता है. नारद जी, friends, who is a saint? You know, one place in in Sundarkand, it is said that when Hanumanji had gone into Lanka and he saw Ram on the kutia of Vibhishan, Vibhishan thought, in Lanka, how could there be a saint living in here? But anyway, since there is a saint living here, let me go and introduce myself. Why? Because Hanumanji concluded, you could never suffer and you could never be hurt by a saint. You could never be hurt by a holy person. And you know who is a holy person? Not a person just like me, you know. Sometimes when you see people just like me, run, you know. Jai Bhagwan. A saint will never hurt us. And here Tulsidashi says the same thing. जब नारद जी ने जयंत को बेचैना देख रहा तब उन्हें उस पर दया, his heart became very compassionate, और आ गई, क्योंकि संतों का चित्त कोमल होता है. Because the saint's heart is always komal, is always calm and quiet and loving and filled with what you call compassion. That is a saint. And that is how he describes a saint. And Tulsidashi says, when Naraji came, he said, Jayant, what's the matter with you? Why are you running all over the place? He says, Naraji, please, aap raksha karuna. Please protect me. He says, you already went by your father could not protect you. You went by Brahmaji, Brahmalok and God Bhagwan Shiva, and they could not protect you. Jayant, aren't you not thinking? The only person to protect you at this time is not me. The only person to protect you, उन्होंने उसी अविलंब श्री राम जी के पास भेज दिया. Why don't you go to Bhagwan Shri Ram? Who did you hurt? He said, I hurt Bhagwan Shri Ram. So if you hurt Bhagwan Shri Ram, Jayant, why are you going all about for help? Why don't you go back to Shri Ram? He is Maryada Purushottam. He is the greatest living being on this earth. He is most compassionate. He is Daya Sagar. Go and tell him to forgive you, Jayant. Why don't you go? And tell him, उसने पुकार कर कहा, हे शरणागत, हे हितकारी, मेरी रक्षा कीजिए, मेरी रक्षा कीजिए. Go and beg Shri Ram and tell Shri Ram you want him to protect you from that ball of fire. Jayant, my friends, like when you hurt somebody, you feel kind of embarrassed to go and ask for forgiveness? If you hurt somebody intentionally, in this case, it was intentionally. And when you hurt someone intentionally, and you have to go back, like the old people say, put your tail between your legs like a little doggy. Go and say sorry, Go and say sorry. That is the only way you will be forgiven. Jayant, you took the form of a crow, one of the lowest species of birds, and you went there and you hurt Ma Sita. Why don't you go and tell Sri Ram? Chant his name and ask him to forgive you. Jayant, my friends, is now feeling kind of embarrassed. How can I go back there? Will Sri Ram ever forgive me? Naraji even told him, he says, go and say, Hey Sharanagat, Hey Hitakari, O most compassionate one. Sharanagat meaning, please shower your grace on me. You are the embodiment of grace. Please, oh Sri Ram, please do something. Jayant goes and is like, he is saying, O bas ek Ram bolo, Ram bolo, Rama Ram bolo re. Shri Ram, chant his name, ask him to forgive you. The Lord is most compassionate, Jayant. Why don't you go? भूल मिले जो तेरे चरणों में, मैं दस्तखत में जाऊं रे। तेरी शरण में आकर रामा, सुख जीवन में पाऊं रे। सुख जीवन में पाऊं रे। ओ बस एक राम बोलो, राम बोलो, राम राम बोलो रे। bolo, Rama Rama bolo re. Jayant, my friends, he goes to Maryada Purushottam Bhagwan Shri Ram crying, save me, my Lord. But let us pause for a moment before we proceed in terms of what the Lord will do and how the Lord will forgive him. My friends, I want you all to be very attentive and remember these principles in our lives. In life, every day, we all can do one of two things. Number one, we have to perform action because we are alive, we are living, and once we are alive, we are going to perform action every day of our lives. So, action means what? If somebody were to ask anybody here, how do you define action? What would you say? What is an action? Hello? Are you all awake? Remember, you're on TV, you know? I mean, you're on TVs. What is an action? I'm sorry? An activity or an event. Okay, so right now, I fold my arms and I'm sitting right here and I'm doing... Is this an action? But I'm not doing anything. No. Let us say this is a bed, right? And I just lie down on my bed here. Am I doing anything? Oh, you all well know, man. Okay, let me put it this way, right? But he has said an action, one event. Let me define action. An action is anything that gets you tired. An action is anything that gets you tired. You all agree or not? You ever do nothing and get tired, do nothing? You say, I'm not doing anything, I'm tired, do nothing, boy. I have something to do. An action is that which gets us exhausted and tired. You ever hear somebody say, oh boy, I went to sleep early last night, I'm tired sleep. You ever tired sleep here? Tired work? This guy have to work sometime 24, 48, sometime 48, something like hours like that, 48 hours and stuff. So anything that gets you exhausted or tired is an action. Now, actions can be performed with two attitudes. One, I am performing the action or the action is happening. So when I am performing the action becomes now generated by what is called, according to Vedanta, as the karta. So I am doing the action. So if I am doing the action, who is going to get the fruit of the action? You or me? I am going to get the fruit of the action. So if an action is performed by me, I am going to get the fruit of the action. If a good action is performed by me, who gets the fruit? I get the good fruit. If a bad action is performed by me, I get the bad fruit. So as they say, as you sow, so shall you. How long it takes to reap? Say what that? It depends. How long does it take to reap? It depends. How does it depend? It can happen right away. The result can come right away. The result can come tomorrow. The result can come next week. Or the result can come next year. The result can come even in the next life. Once the action is performed, the result is going to come. Once there is doership, I have to claim what I have done. Now, my friends, this is a very broad topic in Vedanta according to the karma padati and according to the laws of karma. Now, when there is doership, meaning I am going to reap the fruit of my action. So once I am doing, I am going to reap. Now, let us say the action is happening through me. Think about it. I am doing the action or the action is happening through me. If the action is happening through me, who will get the result? Me? But I'm not doing the action. The action is happening through me. It's a very thin line and a very subtle thought. I am not doing the action is happening through me. I am not speaking tonight. There is someone speaking through me. This is an instrument through which you are getting the message tonight. I am not the karta. I, Abhedanand Prasad Sharma, is not speaking to you tonight. There is someone speaking to you tonight. When the excavator bucket is digging the earth, is the excavator performing the action or the operator performing the action? Who is moving my hand right now? Huh? Vroom. Like, shh. Who is moving my hand? Just like the operator of the excavator is pulling the levers in the different direction and the bucket is either swinging right, left, digging, lifting or dropping, the excavator bucket is not to be blamed. If that excavator bucket goes and hit down somebody, God forbid, by accident, who is to be blamed? Would you put the bucket in jail? Hey, this bucket, officer, which one you gonna lock up? Right man to ask there. Officer said that he will have to investigate the operator of the backhoe or the excavator, and he will have to answer the call. How could that bucket swing and hit? Because the operator is the karta, the one who is doing the action, not the bucket. Friends, my hands are moving tonight, not because I am moving my hand. There is an operator inside this body. And the operator is pulling not the levers, yes, the levers that tells the hands raise, drop, point, bless. No, don't do that. Now, there is a very thin line between the operator in this body speaking to you tonight and I claiming, hey, I am Abhedanand Prasad Sharma. I am talking to you tonight and I said this and I said that and I did this and I did that. And see, I. The person who uses the word I will be bounded by karma for the rest of their lives and lifetimes to come. Because every time I do something, I become bounded by 3 types of karma. It is categorized in Vedanta into 3 types. Karma is of 3 types. One is called Sanchita karma. The other one is called Agami karma. And the third one is called as Prarabdha karma. Jayant, my friends, was propelled by Sanchita karma. And what he did, he converted himself into a crow, he went and hurt Mother Sita, etc. And Jayant changed back into his original human form. He ran away, going everywhere for help. But you see, when we perform an action, even God can't help us. As a matter of fact, when we perform a good action, even God can't take that blessing away from us. And when we perform a bad action, even God cannot, my friends, take that bad action away from us. We have to go through it, the result of that. And that result comes in the form of what we call as Prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma is what we are going through right now. So every one of us here tonight, we all had prarabdha karma to be in this Vishnu Mandir on today's date. So, we all have prarabdha to be here. And what is prarabdha? Prarabdha is what we have to go through at the present moment. Now, friends, be very attentive. How to stop creating karma? The saints and the sages and the great gurus and the great masters, they know and they understand that through aparoksha gyan, they are not the karta or the doer of any action. Actions are happening through them. They are only an instrument. Friends, I want you never to forget the example of the bucket, the excavator bucket, and the operator inside. You and I do nothing. It is someone inside of us, the grace of God, the power of God, the blessing of God that is doing through us. Now, when we are going through our prarabdha karma, your reaction is very important. According to how you react to situation, you can either create karma or you can exhaust karma immediately. Now, for an example, you see those fig trees on the Bedi? Those fig trees, when we came in, there was a little doggy in front. Some people have their pets, etc., animals. Animals don't create karma, but they perform karma. Why? Because animal act on instincts. Animal act by nature. They act to the calls of nature. So they are only exhausting karma. The fig tree, or the trees in fact, the trees are exhausting karma. They are not creating karma. So from the bottom level of life and existence, for example, right down from the stone that has existence, it will keep on rising. So for example, I died from a stone and I became a plant. I died from a plant and I became an animal. I died from an animal and I became a human being. I shall die from a human being and become an angel. So the process of life evolution is happening through karma. So the stone is not creating karma. The animal is not creating karma. The plant is not creating karma. The trees are not creating karma. It is only the human beings who have a choice in this process of creating karma. Or we can exhaust karma. So the point I am making is, when we perform karma, you have two types of people in the world. You have the saint and sages, and you have the ordinary people. You and I, we fall in the category of ordinary people. When the ordinary people perform karma, they are looking for the result of the karma. Nothing is done for free anymore. Nothing is done for free anymore. When last you all got a light bill from the sun? When last Suraj Narayan Swami sent a light bill? When last Pawan Devata sent a wind bill? When last Mother Earth charged you $10 a pound for tomatoes? When last she charged you? When last did Mother Earth, Dharti Mata, friends, charge you for the nice pawpaw that you pick from your trees? But everything that we do, we want a return. We want something in return. Nothing is done for free. The only species in God's creation who does something for something are the human beings. Human beings. Tree will give you shade for free. Remember this bhajan? नदियन पिए कभी अपना जल, वृक्ष न खाए कभी अपना फल, अपने तन का मन का धन का भगवान. नदियन पिए कभी अपना जल. The river don't drink its own water. The trees don't eat its own fruits. The birds, every morning I feed my birds. every God morning. And they come, as a matter of fact, if they don't see me, they will come and they make noise by the window. And they will sing, not for a banana, them singing for free. They never send a bill for me. But anybody does something for us in the human category, we're made doing that for free. Isn't it? Now, when there is doership, there will be results. When there is no doership, then there is no result that comes to us. The difference with the saints and sages and us, the saints and sages, they know that whatever is being done by them is not being done by them, but through them. The grace of God works through His messengers. When we realize that, we are not bounded by karma. Friends, I said all that to say one thing. You see the ball of fire that was behind Jayant? That ball of fire represents karma. It was his prarabdha karma. It was the prarabdha karma that was after him. Jayant couldn't do anything about it. He had to accept it until he went to the Lord Sri Ramchandra Ji. He begged for forgiveness. He begged to be forgiven. And God is a forgiving God. Bhagwan is a forgiving Bhagwan. Bhagwan is a caring, most compassionate Bhagwan. He is most loving. When he saw Jayant coming, he said to Jayant, Jayant, that ball of fire, you want me to out it? He said, yes, Prabhu. He said, Jayant, that is your own karma. You can't run from it. You created that, not me. You created your ball of fire. And that ball of fire that you created would only burn you, Jayant. It will only burn you. Now that you have come to me, now Brahmaji is happy. Bhagwan Shiva is happy that you have come to me. Even your father God Indra is happy because you have come to me, Jayant. But there is always a consequence to a negative action. I forgive you, no doubt. But Jayant, I want you to remember something. And Tulsidas, she says, I wish I had more time to go deeper into the three types of karma: Sanchita, Agami, and Prarabdha karma. But just to understand what happened, Jayant was going through his Prarabdha karma. Like whatever we are going through now is called Prarabdha. The way we react to what we are going through now, that is going to either create karma for the future or create no karma at all. Friends, the saints and sages, they do not react to situation. Param Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda Ji says, he says, sins are committed not in action, but sins are committed in reaction. Friends, always be aware of how you react to people and how you react to situation. Tulsidas says, Vichakrita dharma vijita pal paaye hu. Vichakrita karma janita pal paaye hu. Ab prabhu paaye karan takiya hai. Bolo Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Rama. Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai सुनी कृपाल अति आरत बानी, सूरत कृपा अति आरत बानी, एक नयन करि सचा भवानी। श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। Everyone बोलो, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम, राम जय जय राम, जय जय Jayant, ask for forgiveness. But you know, friends, even though sometimes our actions, I want to ask Boyo a question. Being a police officer, you caught someone who performed a crime, right? And that person comes and asks you for forgiveness. Can you forgive him?
I probably could only advise him and probably tell him things to change his life.
In other words, the officer said, he can't forgive him. You do the crime? You see, even though God is most compassionate, He wants to forgive us, But when we do the crime, we have to pay everything. In this case, अपनी करती का पल मैंने पा लिया, अब हे प्रभु मेरी रक्षा कीजिए, प्लीज प्रोटेक्ट मी, मैं आपकी शरणागत तक कर आया हूँ, आई केम फॉर योर ग्रेस। शिव जी ने कहते हैं, भगवान शिव इज एक्सप्लेन टू पार्वती देवी, हे पार्वती कृपा निधान श्री रघुनाथ जी के उत्सी अत्यंत दुख भारी वाणी सुनकर उसे काना करते छोड़ दिया। Sri Ramchandra ji heard the words of Jayant, and he said, I have already forgiven you, Jayant, but you just cannot go away without paying a little bit for what you have done. And you know what he had to pay? I will tell you in short. Sri Ram took one of his arrow, and he said, Jayant, Bhagwan, we bless you with 2 eyes. But when you had 2 eyes, you were seeing too much. I will take out one. And Bhagwan took out one of the eye of Jayant. He said, I will still leave you with one. You all will notice when a crow watching on the right side, he had to go so. And when he watching on the left side, the eyeball rolling down the left side. My friends, do you have Do you have? Are we blessed with God's grace, but we are using God's grace to do wrong things? Are we using God's grace and blessings to do wrong things? You know how many people right now on the hospital beds and they are begging for a kidney? They are begging for some bypass. There's people who, my friends, who has gone through so much of medical issues in their lives, and they have the grace of God. Some have been healed, some have not been healed. And we may have it. We may have God's blessings, and we are healthy and strong, and we're using that to hurt people through our words, our thoughts, our actions, until we see blood. Today, we live in the dark age of Kali Yuga. And in the age of Kali Yuga, dark things will happen. Today, we will do anything to hurt anybody at any cost once our desires are fulfilled. My friends, Jayant had to lose one eye. It didn't matter who his father was. It didn't matter what kind of devotee he was. What was important was, and what he was judged on, was what he did. And what we do sometimes in life is very, very important to us, because karma will catch up. You and me, we are just ordinary people. We're not like the saints and sages. And the saints and sages, they're not bounded by any karma. The saints and sages perform karma. You know, I was doing some research this evening, and it's a beautiful, beautiful message came. It is said that a saint, a holy person, a holy man or a holy woman, they are not bounded by karma. I want you all to remember this. They are not bounded by karma. Even though they perform karma, they perform action, they have no sense of doership. They are just an instrument through which actions are being done. And the question is, when we come into contact with such a person, since that person is not bounded by good karma or bad karma, if they perform a good karma or a bad karma, what happens to the results? Again, a very subtle thought. And the answer was, when a saint, when you come into contact with a saint, because he is so free, he or she, because they are so free and so spiritually evolved, from the moment you reach in their company, because of your love and respect for the saint, you get the punya, the blessing of the action that they perform. And when we hate or we dislike a saint, then we get the bad karma, the bad action that person performed, if any at all. So, in this way, Jayant had to lose an organ before, based on the law of karma. Friends, with this message tonight, I would conclude my discourse because my time is now telling me to stop. We are indeed very, very blessed to have with us two very senior pundits, Pundit Bisham and Pundit Narayan Prasad Sharma, my beloved Kaka. We also have Randy, who is with us this evening, and I want to say thanks to all of them. So at this point in time, I'll ask my Kaka to give his blessings.
बोले जयपति रामचंद्र की जय, पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय. Devotees, let us all pray, meditating upon Lord Rama, as I do voices of prayer. Hari Om Sri Ganeshaya Namah, Sri Saraswati Namah, Sri Guru Charana Kamala Bhyo Namo Namah. Om Sri Raghavam Dasarathatmajam Prameyam Sichapating Raghukulan Vayaratnadipam Ajanavahum Aravinda Dalaya Chaksham Ramam Nishachara Vinashakaram Namami Om Ya Prithvi Bharavarnaya Divijay Sang Prarthachasyanmayam Sangjata Prithvi Chale Ravi Kule Maya Manushodayam Nishakrang Hatarakshasa Punaragad Brahma Tvamadyang Siram Kirting Papaharang Vidhaya Jagatang Janjanaki Shang Bhajim Bole Shyava Ramachandra Ki Jai. Honored Vyasdev, other pundits, Shrotas, group members on the stage, devotees. After you have heard such katha from the learned Vyas, and so simple and so short, and the philosophy was so high, he gave us such philosophy of the Holy Ramayan and the Holy Katha in such simple way and such logical way. You have no use for lecture or speeches. So I shall now say thanks to the Yagna and I shall chant mantra of blessing for the welfare of all. May you bow head as I chant mantra of blessing. Hari Om. Shri Krishna Kushalang Karoti Bhavatang Jata Prajanang Sukham Nirvignang Gananayaka Pranabhanu Pratapodayam Shambhuste Dhanadhanya Kirti Makilam Durgarana Samudam Gangaste Kalapapaharnisharam Lakshmi Sada Tishtatim Om Labhaste Shang Jayaste Shang Putaste Shang Paranjayam Yeshang Mindivara Shamo Hridaye Supratishtatam Bole Ayodhyapati Ramachandra Ki Jai Satya Sanatan Dharma Ki Jai.
We'll ask Pandit Bisham as well to extend his blessings.
Siyavar Ramachandra Ki Jai. Panditji, to you I say, Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhi. To our Pujari Pandit and our senior Pandit, my pranams. What I would like to do, with your permission of course, Panditji, is look at a very short slok that tells us about the entire Ramayan, if you allow me to. And this shlok says, Ado Rama tapo vanadigamanam hatva mrigam kanchanam vaidehi haranam jatayu maranam sugriva sambhashanam bali nigrahanam samudra taranam lankapuri dahanam paschat ravana kumbhakarna hananam etadhi Ramayanam. What are we saying in this? If I could try to translate to make it sound simple. Ado Rama tapo vanadi gamanam. Sri Ram and others went to the forest to do tapa. Hatva mrigam kanchanam. The golden deer was killed. Vaidehi haranam. Sita Mata, referring to Sita Mata as Vaidehi. Vaidehi Haranam, she was kidnapped. Jaran was killed. Etadhi Ramayanam. This indeed is Ramayan. With this I say Jai Sitaram to everybody. And thank you very much, Panditji.
Thank you. Without further ado, let's all please stand as we join in our final Purnahuti and Arti. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Sarvam Vai Purnagvam Swaha. ॐ सर्वपापहरं दिव्यं गाङ्गेयं निर्मलं जलम् आचमन्यं मया दत्तं गृहाण परमेश्वरम्। ॐ वनस्पतिरसो भूतो गन्धाद्यो गन्धरुत्तम आग्र्य सर्वदेवानां धूपोऽयं प्रतिगृह्यताम्। Everyone lift your hands and receive the blessings of the yagna. Om Sarvadevi Sarvadevtaya Namaha. Kirati kale talalita siyapiki आरती श्री रामायण जी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की। मुनि नारद वाल्मीक विज्ञान विशारद सुख सनकादि शेष अरु शारद वर्णि पवन सुत कीरतन की आरती श्री रामायण जी की। शास्त्र सदगन तन को रस मुनि जन धन संतन को सर्वस सारयम सम्मत सब आरती श्री रामायण जी की। संतत शंभु भवानी अरुगत संभव मुनि विज्ञानी व्यासयादि कवि वर्ज भकानी काकभुषुंडि गरुड़ के आरती श्री रामायण जी की। शुभ सिंगार मोती युवती अनन रोग भव मोरी अमी की तात मात सब विधि तुलसी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की। तू ही विष्णु तू ही राम, तू ही शंकर तू ही श्याम, तू ही विष्णु तू ही राम। कितना प्यारे तेरा नाम, कितना प्यारे तेरा नाम, बोलो जाते सुबह शाम। ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, ओम श्री राम जय राम जय राम, ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, ओम श्री राम जय राम जय राम, ओम श्री राम जय राम जय राम, ओम श्री राम जय राम जय राम। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव,
त्वमेव बन्धुः च सखा त्वमेव,
त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव, त्वमेव सर्वं
मम देव देव।
ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण मही महिषाः, गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं, लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु, काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः, पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी, देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः, ब्राह्मण आसन्तु निर्भयाः। ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु, सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ओम्। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्मविः ब्रह्माग्नौ ब्रह्मणाहुतं ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यं ब्रह्मकर्म समाधिना। प्रेम से बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। आज शक्ति नौ दुर्गा देवी माता की जय। हर हर नमः पार्वती पते, हर हर महादेव। प्रेम से बोलिए सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय जय सीताराम। Please be seated, my friends, as we receive your arti, your panchamrit, your prasadam. Meals are provided for one and all.
Sankhya Television, the first Hindu TV station in Trinidad and Tobago.